Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guide. This is another episode of the Advanced SFML game series, and in this video we are going to continue by adding an object system in our game. In the last video I planned on doing the UI, but I decided that we actually need some kind of UI something to display in order to have a UI. So we are not going to do it that way, but instead we are going to have this first of all have an object system that allows us to spawn different objects in the game, in the level, and then we'll have UI related to that kind of thing. So you can see I have created a class here called object. This is a header only class. We just have a virtual void begin, update and render. The reason these are virtual is because that means they can be overridden by a child class, and they contain begin, update and render. We just have empty implementations for now, and of course they take update takes a delta time, begin takes nothing, and render takes a renderer. So that works quite nicely. So if I were to go under map.cpp, now map create from image function requires a vector of object pointers, a reference to a vector of object pointers, which means in this vector we'll store basically any objects that we come across in the map. And that's pretty awesome. In game we have got a vector of object pointers called objects, just like that. And when we are doing this, we basically just call create from image and we pass the objects here, which is pretty awesome. So that all works, and it looks pretty nice. But what we need to do now is that we should of course have some kind of way of putting objects in. So if I were to open up map.png here, just for example, yeah, you can see that I'm going to close the properties. You can see we have got this here. So if I were to go under, for example, here and try to paint some stuff here, maybe if we can you can modify it in a proper image editing program like Photoshop or something. But the basic idea with this is that we have got this map here, and yellow tiles will represent coins, and for example brown tiles will represent enemies and stuff like that. We can have different kind of enemies in the game by providing different kinds of colors here. Each color is corresponds to some specific kind of object. So I guess that seems pretty awesome, all of that. And now what we can do is we can maybe place a couple of yellow things here and there, and then with that what we should be able to do is we should be able to well, you can see that we should be able to have different objects at different places. This is a bit of a problem that we can only specify object in grid coordinates and not in actual coordinates, but I think that kind of works. It's not that big of a problem really. So yeah, that's all pretty awesome, and I think we should be able to now use this to add objects to our game. Here I am going to go ahead and create a new class which we will call let's call it coin. So for example, and we can of course add many different kinds of objects here. Let's start with coin and we'll go on to more complicated objects later. For now just coin, and the base class is going to be just object, and that should allow Visual Studio to create the thing for us. And if I go ahead and say okay, like that, what you should see is that it creates the class automatically. It inherits from objects, and that's all pretty awesome. Now what we need to do here is of course we need to implement all of the functions of object and kind of make it that, and we did not make object pure virtual, therefore it's not necessary that we implement every function. We could just implement those that we need. And what function does a coin actually need? Since it's just a coin, we might want to have some kind of function to determine what we are colliding with, to enable Mario to collect the coins. But for now let's just forget about all of that and focus on creating a renderer. So let's go ahead and try to create a render function for this. So before we do anything, you can see that in the object class I have added a position and an angle for attributes for the object, because that's kind of I guess necessary. So these are the things that every object will have: a position and an angle. Every object might not need an angle, but some might, and we can just have the angle be 0 if there is no required angle. So yeah, we'll just have these two in every object, and when we are doing our coin, we'll implement two methods. We won't implement update just yet because we don't really need that, so we'll create a begin and override that, and also a render and override that as well, which is going to be virtual. Of course these are the functions inherited from object, and we are going to create a private animation called animation, which will represent the coins animation. I've already downloaded a sprite sheet for coins, and you can do with some website or something. There are plenty of resources available on the internet. So I have implemented these methods here, and in the beginning method we are going to say animation is equal to animation, and for the length of the animation we are going to pass 1.4. This is what just I want, you can have it be anything. And for the animation frames, I'm going to fill my first animation frame at 1.2 with the texture coin 14.png, actually 1.3, and of course we need to include resources header. And just like that you can go ahead and fill all of the other. I happen to have 14 of the coins, so yeah, I'm going to do it like that, and this works. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. And now in the render function we will just say render.draw, and we will say animation.get texture and position, and we will just pass the size, and that works. But of course one thing that we need to do is we do actually need to implement an update method, it seems, because we actually want to be able to update the animation. So we will create a virtual void and call it update, and of course this would have the same signature as the method in the object class. So we'll do that, and of course do not forget to mark it as override. And once we have got that, what we can do is we can go ahead and ask Visual Studio to implement it for us. And in here we can just call the update method on the animation. So we can just say animation dot update, and for update we can just pass it our delta time, so delta time, like that, and that would work really nicely. So we are going to update the animation and pass it the delta time, and this is going to draw the animation, and we have got it initialized as well. Now all that's left is to figure out a way to actually get these coins to spawn in. So currently we of course will not have this coin here, but what we do have is that we have got a game.cpp here, which basically is having a vector of object pointer called objects, and we are asking the map to create when it's creating from an image, we are asking it to do that. So not here in map.cpp we can for example have it be so that the yellow color, so in here you can see we are checking if the color is black. If it's red, we are setting Mario's position. If the color is say yellow, what we'll do is that we will create a coin and set its position correctly and add it to this object's vector. So let's go ahead and do that. In our map.cpp we are just going to add another else if statement that's going to check for yellow, and what we are going to do is we are just going to create an object pointer coin and set it to a new coin. And you can see the advantage of using polymorphism here, and by the way you need to include the coin header of course, and using this we can create a pointer of coin, but we can cast it to just an object. And we are going to basically go ahead and say we could also create a coin pointer because it just works just as well, and we are going to copy that Mario formula we use for calculating the position and set the coin's position to that, and then we are going to push the coin into the construct. So we are going to push it into our objects array. And in game.cpp what we need to ensure is that when we are for example rendering, after rendering map and Mario, we are going to go over each object in objects, and we are going to call render method on it. Since it's a pointer, we need to use this arrow. And similarly for begin we are going to copy paste and then call update with delta time, and when we are beginning we are going to do the same thing. We are just going to call begin without any arguments, and yeah, that should basically work. So in here in my map file you can see I have put a bunch of yellow pixels here, and this is basically all of the places where our coins are supposed to be. And let's go ahead and run this application now and see if our coins are at that position. So what you can see is that yes, when the game starts, Mario is there and the coin is there. You can see the coin here. Of course it's not interactable yet, and by the way I made the Mario's drawing code be in the end so that Mario is always drawn on top of everything because he's the main character. And you can see that the coin is spinning, and it does look like what it was supposed to look like. And you can see that this cluster of coins render correctly as well, along with that row at the bottom. And I had a single coin up top top in the next area, and you should be able to see that we do get a coin here as well, and it's all at the correct place. And of course you can have any animation you like here. You can have your own, or use some from the internet, and you can have, of course, be at whatever size you like them. I used it 0.8 because of course if you made it completely 1, then they would look a bit too large, and it would look like they are kind of just edge to edge with each other. Now it looks a bit more normal. You can of course put it any value here you like. So yeah, we've got that working, and in the next video we are going to work on making these coins interactable so that Mario can pick them up, and maybe that would increase score or something, and then we can display that score data or whatever onto the screen. So that would be pretty awesome. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe as well, and share this video with other people, and bye.